All right, we're gonna switch gears because the Draymond Green Jordan Poole soap opera has grown a little bit from the Jordan Poole side. We heard from his pops on Twitter and one of his buddies on Instagram, and they are presenting the situation as if Draymond was like, big bro, and something happened, which they will not, they themselves are not saying. And then Draymond turned on Jordan, and that's kind of their story. And Draymond's story is that Jordan said something that changed the relationship and caused him to get physical with him. And then I don't know if you heard also today, Monty Poole, it was on 95.7 The Game. I didn't hear the clip. I only saw the little graphic
the excerpt
about Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond not being close. And so, I don't know if I don't know if the Jordan Poole side is the source of the Jonathan Kuminga.
Wait, did you listen? So when we went to the California Classic and came back, we were listening to the Paul George pod with Draymond. Did you continue to finish that podcast?
I didn't.
Okay, so I did. And Draymond talked about, he wishes he was more of a vet to JK.
Interesting,
huh? So yeah. I believe there's legitimacy in Monty Poole's report because I also like Monty. I think
you wonder, like, now here's where in the NBA, when you have shorter contracts and it is really kind of a player's league, you would think that, Draymond gets to 30, 31, 32. He then sort of looks at himself as a mentor. But at the same time, if you look at yourself as a mentor, you are mentoring people who may take your job as you get older, and then you kind of get pushed aside. So it's kind of a slippery slope with mentorship in the NBA with these short contracts. And I did wonder that because you would think you'd go, okay, Jonathan Kuminga is very athletic, but he could be a great like 4 next to Draymond as a 5. Like maybe Draymond wants to get the chemistry together with JK and help him get there so that, he can sort of see things in JK. He could envision JK becoming somebody who he could play with. But at the same time, it's like, how much do you invest in that unless you're Steph? And even if you are Steph, it doesn't sound like Steph is this giant mentor to these young players. Like, seems like he's a friendly guy and he likes them, but it's not.
It doesn't seem like it's his thing.
Yeah, you don't hear stories about, Steph's taking this guy under his wing or anything.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder, is that really Draymond's role? Is it his role to be a vet to these younger players? Like, was it Draymond's job to go, okay, I'm going to make sure that Wiseman, gets all the chances in the world to succeed? Is it his job to do the same with Kuminga? Is that Looney? Like that's the piece of this that we don't understand because of how the league works. But it does sound like, now Draymond supposedly had this relationship with Jordan, then it went to hell. Now Draymond's got this issue with Jonathan Kuminga, supposedly. I don't even know, I don't even know what to think outside of, maybe mentorship is kind of not the thing in the league because of that.
Yeah, I think just like the rule of thumb that I've heard is like it's kind of like you had mentors, you had vets, so that's kind of your responsibility to pay it forward and do it once a year, capable of being a vet. And Draymond talks about his vets when he came in the league. When him and HB came, it was like RJ.
And he took all their jobs.
He took all
they were not on the team for very long.
But didn't Draymond have a thing where like he was given a vet and he's like, no, I don't want that guy. I want this guy.
I
think that was a story.
I think there was one player who maybe he already thought he was better than or something.
Yeah, something like that. But no, but I guess the point is that Draymond always talks about his vets. Like I hear it like once or twice a year about him talking about his vets, and I don't know, just do it for the other guy. It's not his job. You talked about
that podcast, right? Who did he mention as a fantastic human being? David Lee. Whose job did Draymond take? David Lee. So it's like it's crazy, right?
I guess it's difficult, but someone needs to be a vet to those guys. And I bet you remember, but I feel like when JK and Moody first got here, they were asked, who's been like the person you've gotten closest to, or who's been your vet? D. Lee said Damian, or sorry, Moses Moody said Damian Lee, and we were like, oh god, like that's not the guy we want you to get like tight with. I forgot who JK said, but yeah, it wasn't any of the big three. But one of the big three needs to do it, and I don't blame
we kind
Steph
of
for not
thought
wanting to do
we
it.
kind of thought that was going to be Andre last year, right? Because
And
Andre was
Andre
doing a lot of
did. He
coaching on
did.
the sidelines.
Him and JK are close. Him and Wiggins are close. Him and Poole were close. So Iguodala did his job. Iguodala is all about like player brand, player,
Yeah.
Power to the players. So yeah, he definitely was a vet to this. It's just weird. Yeah, none of the big three are. And you look at Steph, like it's like, okay, if you don't want to be, like, damn it. But at the same time, it's like you've done so much. So one of either Clay or Dre has to do it. And then you look at Clay and you're like, ooh, you don't really express emotion. So you're not going to do it. And yeah, Clay will take Wiseman on a boat ride once every year. But yeah, I guess it kind of did unfairly fall on Draymond. And I guess not like 100% like his fault, but damn, he sucks at it.
Yeah.
Like he's made things worse.
Yeah.
He hasn't made things better. That's the thing. At least just be like Steph and Clay and just keep it wash. Like don't be good, don't be bad. But Draymond's just like been bad.
And yeah, so, he's probably pretty demanding, right? Because if you look at it from his perspective, Draymond himself is not the most talented player in the league. Draymond works hard, and Draymond takes advantage from a psyche perspective of, the whole poor Grant Williams in that Boston series. Draymond was just decided that Grant Williams and Jaylen Brown were the ones he was just gonna be mean to. So I would imagine he expects a lot out of teammates probably, and the ones that he looks up to, like Steph, and to some, I don't know if he looks up to Clay, but he knows that Clay is going to help him win. I'm sure Iguodala as well. But those who he probably deems are not helping or are weaker or whatever, yeah, probably not defend. And, you don't get the great part of Draymond that it seems like a lot of these guys do love about him.